Hello, Maria. Hello, everyone. If you have questions, ask me your questions. That's why it's called Ask Teacher Mark. I'm Teacher Mark. I'm a teacher. I answer questions. If you ask me questions. Hello, Jaja. Hello, Alejandro. And good morning, Carlos. How are you? What are we going to look at today? Carlos, I had a bit of a busy morning teaching, so I didn't really have time to prepare anything for today's stream. So that's, if I don't have time to prepare something for the stream, then that's when I usually do Ask Teacher Mark, which you can ask me anything you want to. Okay? If I feel I can answer, I will answer. All right? Tomorrow I will try to prepare something for my stream so it's more exciting and more interesting. Okay? Hello, Kawa. You had trouble understanding my friend. I think you mean, are you talking about Clay? Because he speaks quickly. I think partly it's that he speaks quickly, maybe a little bit faster than me. And partly it's because he doesn't open his mouth as much as I do. Okay? So that's part of why. I will ask him to try to speak a little bit more slowly and to open his mouth more next time. But it can show you the difference. His accent is really almost the same as mine, but he speaks maybe 10% faster than I do, and he doesn't enunciate as much as I do. He doesn't open his mouth as much as I do. So that's the difference. That's why it's so important to open your mouth when you speak English and to speak a little bit more slowly. It's better. Okay? A backward attitude. Maria, where did you hear that? Where did you hear a backward attitude? From a movie. Okay, well, I'm not sure what the meaning is without the context. It's a little hard to tell what the meaning is. But if I had to take a guess, sometimes when we say someone is backward, it's kind of like saying they're old. They don't know the new ways. They do everything a very old way. Okay? So maybe you know somebody who they're living now, but their mind and their attitudes are more like 100 years ago. Some people would say that's kind of backward because you're supposed to be moving forward in life, right? So if you're going backward, it's like you're going back to an old way that we don't do anymore. And most people think it's not a good way. So we call it backward. Okay? Maybe common people speak like that. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true. Clay's speaking is more closer. Clay's speaking is more closely similar to the way most Americans speak. You can write well in English, but you can't speak well in English. Well, you need to try to speak more in English. Anything that you don't do, you can't do. So if you never try to do it, of course you can't. If you never try to ride a bike, then you can't ride a bike well. If you never try to swim, then you can't swim well. If you never try to speak, then you can't speak well. Okay? Merv, do you have a question? If you have a question, we can talk. Today is for questions. If you have a question, give me your question. How to improve your oral English. that's just the same question that is it Himilse? Oh, that's a pretty name. Himilse said. So my idea about speaking English is that most people, the reason they can't speak English well is because they can't think English well. If you translate everything in your mind, then that's not speaking English. You're only speaking a language if you're also thinking in that language. Okay? If you're not doing that, then you are just translating. So, every day I live in America, but I practice my Chinese. How? How can I practice Chinese? There's nobody here for me to practice with. I think in Chinese when I do anything. Then you can practice. Okay? And if you get very comfortable with thinking, then when you need to speak, it will be there. If you get comfortable in your mind, then your mouth will feel comfortable when you want to speak. Okay? But if you never practice thinking, then when you speak, you need to translate everything. And then you get nervous. And then everything gets bad because you're nervous. Okay? All right. Let's see. What's the distinction between between prepositions like about and over? So over 这是上面的. Okay? About, that's a little bit more difficult. About, what is this about? that's so I'm about to do something. I'm about to teach now means I'm ready to begin. I shall soon start. So to be about to do something can sometimes mean I'm soon going to start doing that thing. I'm about to go to bed. I'm about to make breakfast. I'm about to read a book. I'm about to go to school. That means I'm getting ready to, or I very soon will be. Okay, very soon I will be at school. I'm about to be at school. Okay? But what is that book about? Means what's the story? What is its meaning? What did it tell you? Okay? What did you learn? What is it about? Okay? But about, like I said, about has a lot of different meanings or different ways to use it. And sometimes the best way to learn how to use prepositions is to look at example sentences. So ask DeepSeek or ChatGPT to give you 100 example sentences using about. Or, 100 sentences using on or in or through. And ask it to show you the different ways, right? Because there will be different ways to use it. If you see 100 sentences, you'll figure it out. You'll see, oh, I understand now. You can use it for this, but you can also use it for that. Okay? Prepositions take a lot of practice. Okay? Prepositions take a lot of practice. Can I pronounce hair and air and hair? So the first one is hair, meaning the hair on your head. This is hair right here. This is hair. Okay, that's hair. The second one, the H is silent. Okay, that's just air. It's pronounced the same as I'm breathing air. Okay, and that meaning, the meaning H-E-I-R, it means if the king dies, the king died. Now, who will be the new king? The new king, that's the heir to the throne. That's the heir. It's the heir to the king. It means the next in line to take over. Okay? That's the next in line to take over is the heir. Okay? And then the last word, H-A-R-E, is hair, pronounced the same as hair on your head. But that is talking about a rabbit. H-A-R-E is another word that means like a kind of rabbit, is a hare. Okay? All right, let's see. I don't care where you are from. Is this sentence rude? I said this to a person, he got mad at me. Luna, when you write in text, okay, when you're typing something, people can't see your face and they can't hear your voice. So probably if you said those words in real life, they would hear your voice and they would see your face and they would know that you don't mean anything bad. You just mean, hey, it's okay. Like, I like people from everywhere. I don't care where you're from. It doesn't matter to me. I like people from everywhere, right? But if you can't see your face and you can't see or hear the tone, then it's very easy to read something and then think it could mean something else. So, yes, I think the words, I don't care where you are from, could sound rude to somebody. Okay? If you want to say something like that, I think I would say it like, hey, I like people from everywhere. All right? You used to practice your skills by shadowing and practicing in the mirror. That's good. That works. That's a good idea. You should. When you're thinking in English and you don't know the word, what should you do? Write it down. Write it down. That's your homework. Okay? 你写就是你的功课. Okay? If you don't know it, 你写. Okay? I want to learn more vocabulary in American pronunciation. Which book is better because some books are British? Zari, pronunciation is not... You can't really learn pronunciation from a book unless it's an audiobook. Okay? But if you're talking about vocabulary, it sounds like you're talking just about vocabulary. If you're talking about vocabulary, then you should buy books from American authors. That's very simple. Most books written by American authors are written with American English. Okay? But there are millions and millions, hundreds of millions of books. I can't tell you which one because I don't know you. You should go find the books that you are interested in. Okay? Something that I am interested in doesn't mean you will be interested in it. Okay? I like books about food history. I like books about etymology and the history of words. Most people think that stuff is super boring. So do you want me to recommend one of those books to you? I think it's interesting, but you might think it's boring. Okay? But Zari, that's also a good question. You can ask Google or you can ask ChatGPT. Please give me a list of books written by American authors, and then you can say mystery books or science or history books or novels, whatever kind of book you want. And you can even tell it, I like books about adventure, or I like books about romance, or I like books about space travel or relationships. You tell it what you want and it will give you a list of things that are like that. Okay? All right, next. I am not good at English. Is it correct? Yeah. Yeah. You think everybody seriously needs to read one of my topics? Which? Yeah, right. That's a good one, right? That article about the 8 pillars, that's a good one, right? You're welcome, Vadim. How can you speak English if you don't have partners to talk with? Think in English. Think in English. Think in English. Can you go to the bathroom today, and when you're in the bathroom, for the whole time that you're in the bathroom, do not think in your native language. Think in English. Can you make breakfast tomorrow, and the entire time that you're making breakfast, can you think in English? Can you watch a TV show for 30 minutes, and for that whole time, think in English? Try. That's correct, Vadim. Yes. Eva, my live times are around 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturday. Thank you, Marievic. That's a pretty name, too. Zari, I did answer your question. Let me try to review here. Yeah, Zari, ask ChatGPT to give you a list of books with American authors, with American English, okay? And then tell it what you like. If you like adventure, tell it that. If you like romance, tell it that. If you like history, tell it that. Tell it what you like, and tell it that you want books written with American English. Then it will give you a list. I cannot give you a list of books because there are millions of them. And the books I like are not necessarily going to be liked by you. Okay? You won't necessarily like them. Okay, the vocabulary. So, British and English vocabulary is mostly the same. There are only, I would say, 20%, maybe less than that, 10%. 10% of words are slightly different. Okay? The spelling might be different. The word they use might be different, right? Like we say an apartment, they say a flat. We say the trunk of the car, they say the boot of the are. We say the elevator, they say the lift. Okay? But if you are reading a book written by an American author, it's probably going to be written with American English, unless the story they're writing about is in England or Europe or something. If it's written by an American author, it will probably be with American English with American vocabulary. Okay? Okay, let's see. What's the best way to learn vocabulary? You should go read my article. That article that I just posted right here is about how to learn vocabulary. That's my perfect answer about how to learn vocabulary. Okay, go read it. All right, are there some tips or rules for phrasal verbs? There are no rules. That's why they're hard. The tip, though, there is a tip. Carlos, the best way to learn phrasal verbs is to learn them in groups. So, for example, choose one word like the word get. Get has so many meanings in English, especially as a phrasal verb. Get in, get on, get over, get through, get with, okay, get between. There are so many get phrasal verbs, okay? Put is another one, right? Do is another one. Choose one word and then find all the phrasal verbs that use that word, okay? Choose one verb and then find all the words that use that and study them in one group, okay? It's still difficult because the meanings can be so different, but it's better if you try to learn them in one group at a time, okay? Do sound and voice carry out the same meaning? No. Voice is the sound that you make as a human. That is your voice, okay? Sound is anything. That is sound. That is sound, okay? Sound is any noise is sound. Your voice is only the sound you make when you speak, okay? I think there are more than 365 phrasal verbs. I could be wrong, but yeah, a lot more. There are about 5,000 phrasal verbs. Okay? The famous ones. Yeah. Right. If you just type in just do a search online and type in phrasal verbs list, there will be many, many websites that list them. And they usually list them in groups. Okay, so for example, so look, there, let me share my screen. This is a website right here that has a list of 200 of the most common phrasal verbs. Add up to something, ask around, ask somebody out, back something up, back somebody up, blow something up, break down. Okay? That's one website. There's one. Okay? Here's another one. Let's see. 100 of the most common phrasal verbs and how to use them. Complete phrasal verbs list. Okay, now I'm sure it's not a complete list. But here's an extensive list of phrasal verbs. Okay, abide by, account for, add up, advise against, agree with. They're all here and they're all explained. Here's a meaning and here's an example. Okay? So, do a little search online, and if you search for the right thing, phrasal verbs list, okay, then you can learn a lot, okay, that way. And it's also good, phrasal verbs, sometimes it's good if you find a picture, right? Type in images or pictures, and then you'll see a lot, they'll show you a picture of what get up means. So sometimes if you can see a picture of it, it helps you remember. Okay? You prefer American English? Okay. Is my speaking rate like this in my daily life? Many people ask me, is this your normal speaking speed? And my answer is this. If I want someone to listen to me, then this is my normal speaking speed. If I really want someone to listen to me, then this is the speed that I speak at. You think that fast speaking is good speaking, but it's not. People don't listen to you more because you're fast. People listen to you more because you have better words. And if your words are more easily heard, if people can listen to you more easily, then they will listen to your words more. So the faster you speak, the more likely people won't listen to you well. But the slower you speak, if you use more control when you speak, I speak with control. I could speak slower, I could speak faster, but I'm speaking at a controlled rate. Okay? I'm speaking at a controlled rate. If you want someone to listen to you, then you should speak at this speed. Okay? All right. It's necessary to learn phrasal verbs. I wouldn't say they're necessary that much. Not really. They are useful, but you can speak English pretty well without using them very often. Okay? They make English easier, just like idioms. Okay? But you can speak English without using idioms. Okay? Same thing with phrasal verbs. There are ways to say things. You can always explain a phrasal verb. Okay? Every phrasal verb can be explained or can be said in a longer way. Okay? But to be honest with you, I don't encourage them that much. I don't teach them very often because I feel like that's advanced English only, and it's not necessary, it's just useful. Okay? How can you improve your listening? Listen to the right people. Number one, don't just listen to anyone. That's your big problem. You go to YouTube and you just find some guy or some girl. No. Choose someone who speaks well and listen to them. And then listen to a lot of different things. Listen to news, listen to TV shows, listen to music, listen to movies, listen to poetry, listen to many different kinds of things. Okay? Totally right, but it depends sometimes according to which group you're talking to, Tebyen says. I'm not sure what your comment was referring to exactly, but yeah, of course it always depends on who you're talking to. Okay? That's called reading the room. Reading the room means when you walk into a room, you look around and see, who am I talking to? Who is here? And then you have to think, based on who is here, how should I change my language? Okay, that's called reading the room. Hello, Mustafa. How fast do I have to speak in the IELTS test? That depends, you know. That's the funny thing about the IELTS test is they do have a time limit, right? There's a time limit. So, but it also depends on the person giving the test. Okay? So if you go online, Dario, you can go search online for IELTS practice speaking test. Okay? Or go to YouTube and look for IELTS speaking test. And you'll see lots of videos of people demonstrating it. Okay? And there are many websites that show good tips for practicing for the speaking part of the IELTS test. You do have to speak a little bit more quickly because of their time limit. Okay? Which is really not great, because speaking speed does not have anything to do with speaking ability. I could speak very slowly, and it has nothing to do with whether I have good English or bad English. Language has no speed. There is no speed in language. No one ever does. We don't say, no, that was too fast and that was too slow. You need to go just 1 word faster per minute. And you need to go 2 words slower per minute. We don't do that. Just speak. Okay? That's why those tests are not always great. Okay? Shadowing is great if you shadow the right person. And again, I have a great article about that. If you want to read my article about shadowing, then you can go here. That's all of my answer. That's my complete answer about shadowing. Okay? Let's see. Shadowing is great if you shadow the right person. How can you improve English speaking? Again, the best way to practice speaking is to practice thinking first. If you can't think it smoothly, then you can't speak it smoothly. Okay? Your brain is a language practice room where you can say anything, you can do anything up here, and nobody can laugh at you. Why? Because no one will see it or hear it. It's only in your head. So you can practice English here. You can practice the language. Okay? Practice here. Make it comfortable here. If it's comfortable here, it will be comfortable here. Okay? Have I ever taken a Chinese college entrance exam English test? No, of course I have not. I know what it is, though, because I've been teaching students for it for many years now. And yeah, you're right, foreigners might not, native English speakers might not get a full mark. Same with the IELTS test or the TOEFL test. If you gave the IELTS test to the average American, they would not do well. If you gave the TOEFL test to the average American, they would not do well. Do you know why? Because life is not a grammar test. Language is for practical use. Language is not for test taking. That's why when you learn the language, after you learn it, guess what? We make mistakes with grammar all the time because we don't care. Because life is not a grammar test, and all I care about, there's only one thing that I care about. Did you understand me or not? That's all. Okay? This brain doesn't work, that's the problem. Well, you better work on that.
What stops a person from achieving their dreams? When a person was a child, they don't think about difficulties, but as they're growing, something changes. Wow, that's a deep question. Azijan, I think what I would say is when you're young, you have many, many, many dreams. And they're easy to have because you have a good imagination. But we are taught that if you dream too much, then it's not good because you don't achieve enough in reality. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think that many people are told they can only have one dream. But guess what? If you have 10 dreams and only 3 of them come true, okay, so 7 of them failed, but 3 of your dreams came true. Well, guess what? The other guy only had 1. You have 3. So did you fail at 7 dreams? You did. But you got 2 more dreams than this guy. So when you grow up, people tell you that you need to be more practical. Practical means your dreams have to be able to be reality. They have to be able to become reality. Okay? But I think that you have to dream. You have to continue to dream, and you have to keep pushing and keep believing that things could be better. That's our purpose. Why are we so good at finding problems? Why are we so good at saying, I don't like that? That's evolution. Everything that we don't like is something we try to improve. That's evolution. Okay? I do have a YouTube. I will give it to you. There is my YouTube. I look like the headmaster of the Harry Potter school? Okay. All right. That's my problem with Russian language. Oh, you're learning Russian? Well, that's interesting. They teach us grammar, which we don't know even how a word is supposed to... yeah, right. Well, that's true for almost every language all over the world. Every language in the world, they teach and they focus too much on grammar. And nobody gives a beep about it. And the number one reason why people don't like learning languages? Grammar. The number one reason. Everyone in the world has anxiety. They don't like the idea of learning languages because of grammar. But they focus on grammar like it's the most important thing in the world, but it's not. Life is not a grammar test. My goal is to speak and communicate, so grammar is not the main point. Right, so Tebyan, grammar is like driving, right? My grandfather probably learned how to drive without going to school. He probably learned how to drive without any books or any classes or anybody telling him anything. A long time ago, when you wanted to learn how to drive, you got in the car and you drove. You figured it out, right? You just figured it out as you go. And when I'm driving Am I thinking about all the rules of driving while I drive? No. No. If you do that, you won't drive well. You'll be too worried. Okay? Just like in music. In music, there are rules. A lot of rules. But when I'm playing music, am I usually thinking about those rules? No. No. Rules are something that you study and you learn. And then, after you study them and after you learn them, here's your rules. I study them. I study. Ah, okay, I know them now. That's how it works. Okay? The point is to learn the rules so that you can forget them. Okay? Cynthia wants to have a small talk with me. Do you have a question, Cynthia, about something? As John says, I think the biggest reason to stop fighting for your dreams is schools because they taught us to avoid failure. Right, that's kind of what I was saying before, that they teach you that you're not supposed to have a dream if it isn't going to be, if it might fail. That you should only choose to have dreams that definitely will be doable, that you can achieve. Okay? But guess what? That's not how dreams work. Dreams are supposed to be big. If it's not big, it's not really a dream. Okay, and Cynthia, where are you, Cynthia? Did you raise your hand? Raise your hand, Cynthia, if you want to come talk with me. Why? Why what? Why are there small dreams? Oh, so I said it's not really a dream if it's not a big dream. Because small dreams are not dreams. If it can be done easily, then it's not really a dream, is it? Dream is a word we use for things that you need imagination. You need to imagine they're possible. Okay? Small dreams are not really dreams. Those are things you can do. Those are possible. Okay? So you can call them small dreams, but if it's something you can do, right? So if I say, I have a small dream, let's see, I have a small dream to one day go to Jamaica. My dream is to one day go to Jamaica. Okay, well, guess what? I could do that. I could buy a ticket to Jamaica tomorrow. Is that really a dream? No, it's more like a hope. I hope, I wish. Okay? My dream is to have a small family. So I say, I think that's not a dream, that's a goal. Because you can do that. That's something that doesn't require imagination. You can do that. You have to find a good partner, you have to get married, and you have to have children. But it can be done. You're right, it's not easy. You're right, it's not easy. But it's doable. It's practically doable. Okay? That's what I guess I mean. Dreams are things that most people say are not practically doable. That's why it's a dream. Okay? They require you to think of a possible way that they could be done. Okay? Goals are things that are practically doable. okay? Something that you can achieve is a goal, okay? Dreams are always goals, but goals are not life. Ramon, I don't think I would agree with that. No, goals are not always dreams. I have a goal to improve my Chinese. That's not a dream. That's a goal. That's not a dream. Okay, dreams require imagination. Okay? You dream to have a Ferrari. Right. Right. My dream is to go live on Saturn. Right. Right. Now, that's what I'm saying. See, now, could you go live on Saturn? Right now, no, it's not possible. That's why it's a dream. Because you have to imagine, well, maybe if I did this and if this happened, then maybe it could happen. Right? That's dreams. Yeah. Ibrahim, I am a drummer. I am a drummer. Yeah, everything needs money, unfortunately. That's why money is evil. So what's my dream? I have many, many, many dreams. Too many. I can't tell you all of them. Yeah. If you live simple, you live happy. I think that's generally good advice, Hussein. But, Hussein, not everybody in the world can be simple. Think about it that way. The world would not be a good place if everybody lived simply. It really wouldn't. We need some people who do live complicated lives. We need people who do want more, not less. But we need to be practical about it. We need to be responsible about it. Right? But living simply is always good advice. Somebody says simple life is good life. Okay, great. I like to do gardening. That's simple. But I'm also here teaching English online to thousands of people around the world. That's not simple. If I lived a simple life, I wouldn't be here right now, helping you. Okay? Have I ever tried Yunnan flour cake? I don't think so, no. So if I want to live in Chicago, is that a dream? No, I think that's a goal. If you want to live in Chicago, you could make a plan for that to happen. Is it difficult? Yes, but let me put it to you this way. You're from, oh, I forgot. Where are you from? What's that flag? I forgot that flag. Is it Bahrain? Ah, I got it right. Yeah, okay, so are there some people in Chicago right now from Bahrain? Probably. Yes, there are. If there are some people in Chicago now who are from Bahrain, then that means that it can be done. It can be done. It's possible. Okay? Wait a minute. I'm going to see if I can find something for you. Wait. Well, there's at least one restaurant in Chicago that is owned by... There's a community. If there's a restaurant, there's a community. Okay? So yeah, that means it's possible. So if it's possible, you can do it. You can make a plan. Okay? All right. Nobody raised their hand. I keep looking for somebody raising their hand, but nobody's raising their hand. Okay, anybody? Dreams differ depending on people's situations. Of course they do. Yeah. Yeah, but one thing is the same. Dreams are things that you feel are not easily possible. Okay? Dreams are difficult. Dreams are things that require you to use your imagination to imagine a way that it could be possible. Okay? It's not possible now, but you can imagine a way. That's a dream. All right? But if it is possible now and there is a way, that's a goal. Okay? The song, what? Sylvia, what are you talking about? Rival, adversary, and opponent. Are they the same meaning or is there a difference? Let me think for a minute. Young. 我干这就是差不多的意思 ，OK， 都是差不多的 ，OK。Your rival is someone who is an opponent, but like a strong opponent, right? So like, for example, in Ohio, I live in Ohio, all right? And my city is Cincinnati, Ohio. And we have a sports team called the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, that's our football team. But there's another city in Ohio up in the the northeast corner. I'm in the southwest, but there's a city in the northeast called Cleveland. And Cleveland has a team called the Browns. Okay? So we have the Bengals down here and the Browns up here. There are many, many teams in football, but the Browns are our rivals. They are our rivals. In our state, they're the only other football team in our state. So it's us against them. That's a rivalry. Okay? It's an opponent, but it's like the main opponent. Okay, you're like most hated opponent. Okay, so that's really the only real difference. Okay, and adversary just means an opponent. Okay. Now, Ramon, goals can be dreams, but dreams cannot be goals. It's not really the same. Okay? They're just, but guys, honestly, this is, let me explain a word to you. This is called semantics. Semantics. It doesn't matter what you call it, it matters how you feel. It doesn't matter what you call it. Call it a dream, call it a goal, call it a shoe. I don't care what you call it. The point is not what it's called. The point is there are some things that you're trying to do in life that you can do. Those are goals. But I want to fly. I want to be invisible. That's a dream, not a goal. Because I can never be invisible. I can dream it, I can imagine it, but it can't happen. Okay? Yeah. But they're both good. You need goals, you need dreams, and you need shoes. Athena, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that, Athena. I wish I could give you a big hug. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Kanzaki says, funny people are usually happy. At least on the outside. Yeah. Usually, the people who are funny are at least on the outside. They're happy. Yeah. Can I say the word support? Support. 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 Hola. It's support. Alejandro says the thing that I can, let's see. Sometimes I cannot understand what I read. Well, Alejandro, what are you reading? What are you reading? Books, websites, novels, news, articles, journals. What are you reading? So do dreams also mean fantasy? Dreams are often based in fantasy. Okay? Dreams are often based in fantasy. Okay. Why did Martin Luther King say, I have a dream? Why did he say, I have a dream? He used the word dream because at that time, when he said, I have a dream that everybody can be equal, at that time, that seemed impossible. It did not seem practical. It did not seem doable. It was not a goal. It was a dream. That's why he said, I have a dream that one day we will all be together and all be the same. That's what he was talking about. Okay, I'm paraphrasing now, but he didn't say, I have a goal that we can all be equal. He said, I have a dream. His dream can come true. It did. Eventually, it did. Well, to some degree. Yes. Okay? But at the time, when he said it in that way because he knew it would require imagination and it would require a completely new world. That's a fantasy that you have to imagine. Okay? You read books and songs. Okay, Alejandro, so songs are sometimes not a good place for learning English. Sometimes. Songs are like poetry. Songs are art. Songs do not need to follow grammar. The grammar in songs is often incorrect grammar. Okay? Because a song doesn't care about grammar. Nobody cares about grammar when they write a song. Okay? So you have to be careful, because when you learn English from music, sometimes you might not understand that the song has some problems with the grammar. Okay? Books are great, but you have to have the right level of book, Alejandro. Okay? If you are a B1 reader, you're at the B1 level. If you're at B1 level, you cannot read C2 yet. That's going to be too hard for you. Okay? But if you're at the B1 level, you can try to read some things at the B2 level a little bit. Okay? So, what I would say is you need to know what level you're at. Are you at A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, or C2? Okay? And then try to read around your level. Okay? Maybe a little bit above your level. I always try to read above my level to push myself. Okay? But don't go too much above. Don't go too much above, because it might make you frustrated. If you read something that's a C2 level, it might scare you a bit and frustrate you a bit. Okay? Kanzaki, you wake up. What are you talking about, Kanzaki? It's my dream to travel the world someday. And Andy, that's where those things kind of become, where the line between goals and dreams. There is a line, right? There's a line somewhere between this is a goal and up here is these are the dreams, right? But there's a space where there's kind of some overlap, right? So I have a goal to travel the world too. And I have started. Okay? I have traveled to some places. So I have started to travel the world. That's the start. Right? I am very confused. Interesting. Okay, Bialara. That's a pretty name, too. Hello, Diego. Kanzaki, I think that the translation is not working very well, but Kanzaki, if you want to be friends, yes, we can be friends. I am friends with 83,000 people here. Click friend. You have a goal to be a live streamer here? Well, that's an easy goal to have. You can be a live streamer. Just ask. Just ask. Your dream is when your grandson grows up, he can get into a good university. Jasper, then your dream should be not that he gets into a good university. Your dream should be that he has a bright mind. If your grandson has a bright mind, he will get into a good university. So change your goal. Change your dream. Your dream for your grandson should be that he has a bright mind. Okay, you encourage him, you teach him to have a bright mind. Okay? Clever. Tongming. Right? Today that happened to me. I was reading White Nights by Dostoevsky, and now I feel really disappointed. Yeah, I mean, that's Dostoevsky. That's some of the hardest writing that there is. Okay? It's going to challenge you. Mona, that's why I tell people that 70% of your reading should be in your window. Okay? Means like at your level. 70%. Okay? Should be at your level. Okay? But 20% can be below your level. Below your level, right? So you're at a B2 level, you can read some B1. Why? Because it's easy, it's good practice, and because you will still learn a few words when you do simple things, right? But then 10% of your reading, you can push yourself to try to do something higher level. So if you are a B1 reader, push yourself to try to read C1 or C2. But it's going to be difficult. It will challenge you. It will frustrate you. It will scare you. But it's good to scare yourself sometimes. Okay? Okay, please be patient. I'm trying to read all the comments. And yes, Kanzaki, I'm not sure what you want, but yes, we can be friends if that's what you're trying to say. But I don't understand the translation of what you're saying, really. Mena, I help 83,000 people. Click the follow button. You can join all of the people here who I help. Okay? I'm glad, Alejandro. I'm glad. If I say one day I would like to talk with you face to face and become fluent, what is that, Mr. Mark? Is that a goal? Yeah, that's a goal. That's a goal. That's possible. You could talk with me face to face. I have met many of my friends on Hello Talk. I have met in real life. Okay? So that's a goal. You can improve your English, and maybe one day I'll visit, where are you? Ecuador, I think? Okay? Or maybe you can come to America and I'll see you here. Okay? I'm fine. How are you? How can you improve your listening when you are here? Well, when you are here, listen. That's all you can do, is just try to listen and pay attention. Okay? And you can go to my YouTube channel to watch it again. This, right now, this is on YouTube. Right now. And when I'm finished, it will be uploaded, so you can watch it again. Okay? Let me check on my YouTube people over here. Oh, why is chat not available? Refresh chat. There it is. Okay. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Is my book and vlog going well? Roya, I'm doing the best I can. I get inspired sometimes, and then I get uninspired sometimes. And right now I'm just going through a period of sometimes I feel like my words are powerful, and sometimes I feel like it's important that I try to get my words down and I write them. Sometimes I feel like, who cares what I think? Sometimes I think, who am I? Why should nobody's gonna want to read my book or my answers, so who am I? So, it's called a problem of identity. Okay, let's see. Relevant and related. How can I use those? So, related means like family. Is it related in some way? Okay? Relevant means, does this apply? Okay? So, let me try to give you an example. Let's see. So, if oh, I know. Okay. I have a new job. And I'm working, I'm fixing cars. That's my new job. I'm fixing cars. And maybe they ask me in the interview for the job, they ask me, do you have any relevant work experience? That means, did you do anything in the past that's related to this field? Okay? Maybe you're fixing cars now, but you used to fix boats before. Okay, well, it's not cars, but it's fixing things. That's relevant work experience. But if you worked in an office before, probably that's not really relevant work experience. Okay? Or if I say, did he murder did he murder that man? Did he murder that man? Yes or no? And you say, that's my brother. That's not relevant. It has nothing to do with who he is. I asked, did he murder someone or not? Okay? So, relationships are about a connection in some way like family. Okay? Are they related? Okay? Relevant is more like, does this apply to this thing? Okay? Does that make sense? Kafka and Camus are also going to be difficult, Mona, but I admire that you're trying to read that stuff because it's good stuff. There's good stuff in there. But you know what? I think sometimes sometimes the things by Kafka or Camus or Dostoevsky or Tolstoy or Machiavelli or whatever, all of these great minds, you can read the books, and that is good, of course. Reading their original writing is good. But I think there's great value in just reading some quotes by them. You don't have to read the whole novel. You can read some of the important lines in the novel and learn, what does this mean? Why did he write this sentence? You know? So instead of trying to read the whole book, you can try to focus on the value of one line. That's doable. Okay? How can we learn to not be afraid of making mistakes? Just go make some mistakes. Okay? One of the best things that you can do as a human being is go outside and embarrass yourself. Go out in public and do something really embarrassing. Do you know why that's a good thing? Why is it good to embarrass yourself? Why is it good to embarrass yourself? Anyone? Because we know our value? Maybe. Why is it good to embarrass yourself? Diego has the right answer. That's the right answer. If you embarrass yourself, You take away the fear. You eliminate that fear. You embarrassed yourself. Now it has less power over you. Embarrassment controls you. You are scared. Go be embarrassed. Then you'll see it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So, one of the best ways to get over being embarrassed is by embarrassing yourself. Boldly go be silly. Go do something boldly silly. Do something ridiculous. Let me demonstrate. Okay, let me demonstrate. Hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I'm teaching English here today. Do I care about my hair? I don't care about my hair. And that's why I have power. Because I don't care. Get it? So, the next time you feel like you want to have power, mess up your hair and show the world. Okay? Because guess what? All I need to do is put my hat back on. Okay? Yes, Alyssa, I'm so sorry. I didn't see the time. Yes, I must go because I have to talk to one of my students. I have to go right now. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I'm so sorry I have to rush off, but I forgot I have a phone call that I need to make right now. So I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.